Sooner schedule had questions. Is there a trap game on there? Let's talk about it next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there for tuning and subscribing to the show and finding us wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to and here on YouTube. So make sure you hit that bell notification so you know whenever new episodes drop. All right, schedule. The big talk right now is when you look at the schedule of Oklahoma's opponents, are there any games where they could be considered trap games? And what a trap game in my definition is, this is mine. Y'all's are probably a little bit on the different side, but mine's here is this. A trap game is a game where we ain't paying no attention to that squad. We're so focused on the next team that we ain't even thinking about that team. And when I looked at Oklahoma's schedule, I saw two of those that jumped out to me that even though I expect Oklahoma to be thoroughly prepared, could be a game that ends up being a trap for them. The first game, Red River. I know, it's Red River game. No reason to even think that that game will be a trap. Travel to South Carolina right afterwards. That's when you're starting your true big-time SEC run. So, for me, Illinois State's not a trap game. They should blow them out in preparation for Michigan. Temple on the road should be a blowout because Temple has new coach, new quarterback. They had a massive refresh there. Then you're coming home to play Auburn, so there shouldn't be anything that. Then you got a bye week and then Kent State, but then you got Texas, and you got South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Some would say the Ole Miss game will be probably the biggest trap on that 5-game slate. I think Texas is more because I know we really want to beat Texas bad. We also will be mentally preparing ourselves for 4 straight SEC battles. The good thing for Oklahoma is that they don't have any back-to-back games where they're on the road back-to-back weeks. They do have back-to-back road games, but they're not week over week. There is a bye week in between the other one here. So that helps out a lot. Plus, you kind of got a little bit of a cupcake before you play, your 3 biggest games of the year with Illinois State, Temple, and then Kent State. Those being before Michigan, Auburn, and Texas really helps with preparing the body for more battles, especially because those 3 teams are not very good as far as competition goes. But for Oklahoma, that Texas game is the one that they're going to have to get up for. This will be once again just like, back in was that 2022 when things were awful. He had a tight end playing quarterback. That was a bad game against Texas. And then you came back the next year and you won it. But then you had last year, which was another bad game against Texas. The expectation is for you to have a good game and pull out the win. That can be a trap and a lot of pressure on a team. I think Oklahoma will be okay there. But that one to me is one trap game that I think they may accidentally look past, depending on how Texas comes in that game too. Like I saw a video that Josh Pate had, and someone asked if there's a possibility for Oklahoma to walk into that game against Texas 5-0, and Texas walks in 3-2. Because remember, Texas schedule, they got Ohio State to start the year, and the week before they play Oklahoma, they travel to the Swamp, which is considered the 7th hardest stadium to play in on the road. 7 toughest, right? So if Texas goes up against down there in Florida and TJ Lagway shows up and that Florida team looks really much better, I understand. It's Billy Napier. We're not throwing all of our, reliance in him. But if that does happen, there's a good chance that Texas walks into game 3-2. That is a possibility. Because the expectation is there a chance that whenever that game comes up, that Texas could end up being a slight dog on the road. They're a field goal and a half dog against Ohio State on the road already. And then the Florida game, which could end up being them being another dog. A slight one, but could be. We'll see how Florida plays and if they actually live up to their side of the bargain before that game. But again, if that happens, then what? Because for Florida, with Texas coming into town, Florida has a bye week. Now, granted, before that fifth game of the year for them, they travel to LSU and then they travel to Miami in back-to-back weeks. But they got that big old bye week right before they play Texas. And you know at home they're going to get up in preparation to play against them. So it's intriguing to see that. So the question now lies. It continues to be there. Texas shows up 3-2. Do you think Oklahoma overlooks them? That's why I say there's a possibility for a trap. Next game, the other game that I think is a trap. Now, this is the one that Oklahoma should not fall for. Like, I don't care about the games around it. This is the game that you got to win. This is the game that you need to win by 50 if you can. You need to hang half a honey on them if you can do it. It's that Missouri game. Missouri comes to the crib after Oklahoma plays at Tuscaloosa, and then they're at the crib against LSU to wrap the season up. Depending on how the year goes, that LSU game could be a critical one to leading into potential playoff stardom or whatever, depending on how the years go. That Missouri game could end up being a trap. Missouri had a lot of changes. We know. New quarterback, new running back, which a lot of people like Ahmad Hardy, their starting running back. He's raving reviews on him. Is he one that is Missouri a team that Oklahoma should truly be worried about? That late in the season, I'm going to say yes. That game is smelling trappy more and more as I look through it. It's looking like it. Mainly because, again, traveling to Tuscaloosa, if you finally go out there and you pull off another W, you own the state of Alabama for a second straight year. And you know LSU's coming up, and you've had not two good games, three straight games that are just against LSU. You want to get revenge. You want to get revenge for 03. You want to get revenge for 19. You want to get revenge for last year. That Missouri game you cannot overlook. And it's always a possibility if Missouri has fell on their face, that's a game that could be overlooked on accident. So already 11 o'clock kickoff. So I know it's going to be an early one. Oklahoma can't let them do that to them. That's the one game, to me, that could be a very bad scenario for the Sooners. But even with the rest of the schedule, I know we could have added Tennessee in there. The good thing about the Tennessee game is it's right before a bye week. So there's a possibility you play Ole Miss and you're looking at that bye week because you're just like, I just need to recover. We've gone through 3 straight tough games. We're going to go to our 4th straight tough game. The bodies are aching, and a dud could come out of Tennessee. I totally believe that Tennessee can be an honorable mention for your trap games, mainly because that bye week is enticing right afterwards. That's the recovery week. It's those mice on everything. Get a lot of sleep, catch up on homework, whatever. It's there. But I really think Missouri and Texas are 2 games that no matter what, Oklahoma's going to have to stay focused and pull off. Especially because this Red River is just Red River. It's the game that we always have in the back of our mind and we're always concerned about because it's Red River. It's going to be one that's going to be heavily concerning for the Sooners. So let's see what Oklahoma does there. Let me know what you all think. Which game do you think is a trap? I want to hear from you all. And that's our episode of Locked On Sooners. Thank you all for pulling up and being part of the show. We appreciate all the love and support. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, as well as subscribe here on YouTube. Hit the bell notification. That way you know when all of our new episodes drop. Follow me on Unfair Sports. You can follow and check out my channel, Unfair Sports, here on YouTube. You can follow John at John9Williams, as well as see his writing over at Soonerswires.com. So until we catch y'all later, I'm Jay Smith. Have a great 4th of July. Boomer Sooner.